Hi there, Brendan here, aka the Savvy Recruiter. In today's video, I am going to show you a number of different ways which you can search and use Boolean within the job title section of LinkedIn Recruiter. The reason that we're doing this is really to expand your sourcing capability and to show you that there is more than one way to use the job title field within LinkedIn Recruiter to bring back different results, therefore meaning that you find more relevant people. If you do like the content of this channel, please feel free to like and subscribe, and without further ado, we're just going to jump across onto my desktop. So here we can see LinkedIn Recruiter, obviously a platform I would hope that most of us are familiar with. Now, the most common thing that I see people do, we are going to pick on, I don't know, let's just say, keep it simple for a moment. So software engineer is that they use the filter field. And what we've done here is we have said we must have, and we have obviously the current, and they must currently be doing that job. Now, if we click on the kind of the drop down here, we can see all of the different titles which are kind of contained within this thing. Now, the problem is this brings back a huge amount of results. Now, the issue fundamentally of this is what this is not doing is actually searching this word as though we would type it in Boolean. If I was looking for a software engineer and I was putting it into a Boolean string, I would wrap that in speech marks, and the reason for that is it keeps the words together and it searches software engineer. What this effectively does is this searches software and engineer. So while it will sort the results and we will see software engineer quite heavily initially, as you go through page 10, 12, 15, 20, 25, 30, your results will show more false positives where we can see the word software on the profile, we can see the word engineer, but they're not necessarily, maybe they're a tester or something like that. Now, that's all very well, and yes, you may want to look at those people, but the issue is that it is about time, to be honest, in terms of this. If I bring back a list of 2,000 candidates that I need to go through, I want to see 2,000 people that I've actually asked to see. What I don't want to do is go through 1,500 results where they look and decide, are they good enough, do they look like they've got enough experience, and that sort of side of things. I don't want to have to go through 500 results and kind of go through false positives for things that I've just not asked to see, who are completely the wrong skill set, and it's just kind of taking an educated guess effectively. So this is one way which you can do this. 6.5 million results, 1.8 million results, and again we can do this with something like quantum engineer, which is an area which I focus on quite heavily. But again, here's the filter for quantum engineer. It is searching quantum and engineer on this page. We've got 1,000 plus results, 205 open to work with they must have obviously this wording and current job. Now, one of the things that we can do from here is we can actually increase our chances. So if I was to write the word headline, and then quantum engineer, and I was to put speech marks around it to keep the word, and I was to press enter, must have current quantum engineer in terms of this. What this will actually do is search this line, which is the subject line, and we can see quantum engineer. Now, you are still going to get some false positives, but what we're asking it to do is search in this headline. And the reason for that is what I'm trying to do is now increase my odds. Now, the problem with the first way is that we are searching quantum and engineer, and while it will find quantum engineers, we could theoretically find a profile which someone's done a master's degree, has done something to do with quantum, they're now a complete software engineer. So that person, if I was looking for a quantum engineer, is not going to be relevant for my role. This increases my chances. On my headline, within my own LinkedIn profile, I write a brief synopsis of exactly what it is that I do for the current company that I work at. So what I'm now doing is I'm saying, I want to see people that are doing this. And you could put quantum, you could put a skill, a technology. It doesn't matter effectively, but you're trying to increase your odds. But what we can already see is that we've got 5.2k results and 1.6, whereas with the other way, so it's 5.2k results on 1.6, but using this other way, which was, let's just say, this quantum engineer, So it's 5.6 and 1.2, wasn't it? So we got 502 and 97. So again, different results depending on what you have put in and what it is that you're asking to see. Now, another way in which we can do this is we could look at something like this, where we split what we're looking for. So we're looking for quantum hardware and the word engineer. So quantum hardware and the word engineer. And again, what this will do is it will try to find the phrase quantum hardware and then the word engineer. So what you may see is you may see it something like this, but you could also see the word quantum hardware somewhere on the profile, and then in somewhere completely separate, the word engineer. So here we can see the word engineer, and then somewhere on their profile will be the word quantum hardware. So quantum hardware engineer, quantum hardware, and again, so this is just a different, but more importantly, we now have 134 results and 28 open to work. So in the last 3 searches alone, we have seen different variations of the results that it brings back in terms of you know, the input that you have put. So all of this is just really sort of logically thinking through effectively, this is what I want you to pull back and bring back to me. Now we can get even you know, sort of more on top of that, we can get even more in depth. So one of the other things that we can do is we can now begin to expand out if we wanted to, and I'll just show you an example. So if you bear with us 2 seconds, I could do something like this. So quantum and hardware and engineer. But what we're going to do is we're going to add in synonyms and we're going to bring in different spellings. So if we were to, but let's search this in the headline and see what this does. So if we were to get rid of this and we were now to put this here, so we now have 405 results and we have 95. And again, this is a different search result, and this will be more accurate than most due to the headline search on this. But we can also bring back into some of these this thinking here. So if I was to just go quantum engineer, for example. Now we don't need the word and, so we're not going to put it in. But here, so we had 405 and 95. And now we have 1.4K and 4.7. So this is effectively the way, in terms of the way in which you can, you know, use this filter and this kind of field to put in different types of Boolean to really kind of extend out searches and to understand what's actually going on with them. And then we'll do one more where we put quantum and engineer. So we could 5K and 1.4 if we were to put in hardware. So there's probably a better example of that actually. So hardware, quantum and hardware engineer, 36 and 166. If we were to, let's tag these words together, 36, 166. If we were to do this, 36, 166. 51, 212. So effectively we've asked to see something very similar there, but what we've actually done is expanded out our search. So using and thinking about the logic that we're input into the job titles, we have seen probably about 10 examples of different searches that I might do on one single search, which will give me different results, meaning that if I was to go through that process, I would be able to find more candidates than another quantum recruiter who is working on exactly the same search. Appreciate your time. Any questions, please feel free to ask, and happy hunting.